All right, class, come on, back to me. Yes, I know that was funny. Now just sit. I know it's warm, it's coming up on June, the end of the school year, and you all can't wait to be free of me, this classroom, this building, and getting up at 6 in the morning. I get it. But I want to return now back to the last novel we read. And I know that some of you, and I'm looking at a few of you right now, haven't finished your reports on it, but I want to talk about it right now. Because I feel that it has a lot to do with what you, as a student body, are about to do. And I don't just mean run out of here screaming like wild things. Oh yes, that book, don't even give me that look. A Separate Peace by John Knowles, and I already see 3 of you yawning. Don't even go there. It's a very good book if you read it right. Now, what did all of you get out of it? What themes did you find? What motifs? What ideas came to your mind? Anyone? Yes. Growth, coming of age, very good. That is pretty much exactly what this book is about in a way. But there are more. Others? War, violence, yes, but not in the way you would think, and we'll touch back on that in just a second. What's another one? There's one big one you guys are missing. There it is. Rivalry. Now, as some of you may remember, Jean spends the entire novel talking in a past tense. He is remembering the actions and the courses of actions and everything that he did while he was a student at Devon with his friend Finney. And while they have a very great friendship in the beginning, it becomes built on a lie. It becomes built on this idea around Jean taking Finney's place in the Olympics and Jean doing all of these things and living through Finney. But not just living through Finney as in living for Finney, living through Finney as in becoming Finney. Jean was unimpressed with himself. He had developed this sort of inner enemy that a lot of you, I'm sure, may have in your own mind. And something that you can learn from Jean, he has come back to Devon. He has come back to where all of this happens. And even as an adult, he is filled with fears and insecurities and this great worry. And we realize as the novel goes on that nothing has changed since adolescence. Not the school buildings, and not, most importantly, himself. A quote from the book in chapter 1, if all of you remember, is nothing endures, not a tree, not love, not even death by violence. And he is visiting the tree at this moment, the tree that is such a huge part of the book, such a culminating fulcrum for the story. And now it is old and feeble, and in so he reflects on how time changes and nothing lasts. And he is specifically referring to the loss of love between himself and Finney and the violent death both in war and in the course of the story. But what I would say you should take from that going forward, and not just for those of you who haven't finished your reports, is Jean has this extreme inner enemy, and it's himself. But at the same time, he also has this codependency for his identity. Jean wants to be Finney to the point that after incapacitating Finney, after removing all of the things from Finney that made Finney special in whatever way Jean was looking at, and they're on the same level. Jean is finally happy, in a way. He has brought Finney down to his own level, but that codependency comes through even more because there was that forced equalization of the two of them when one wasn't equal to the other, and the one had that resentment. And why I bring this up right now is this. You all are on the edge of being free of here for 2 months. And in the coming years, whether it's 1 or 2, you will be free of this high school, this place of learning for the rest of your life. And I'm sure that you have never killed anyone, and I'm sure that you have never harbored thoughts of incapacitating and disabling people, or I hope you haven't, I guess. But I can remember being young, and I can remember those thoughts, and in a way almost sympathizing with Gene Forrester in this novel, because he only wanted to be special, he only wanted to be acclaimed, he wanted to be more. And I can remember that. And to this day, I say to all of my students at the end of the year, it is okay to want to be more. It is okay to want to be like your friends who are out doing all of these great things, but what you must remember is that you are yourself. The grades on the paper are yours, the tests are yours, the scores are yours. The future is yours to reach out and to take. And I need all of you to understand that. Because the friendships you make here are like that tree. They will change. It will grow from what it is now, and it may very well die. And that's not to say you'll never see them again. That's not to say you won't remain friends for the rest of your life. But closeness and friendship ebbs and flows, much like the tide of the ocean, much like the circle that is life. And I ask you, who are you going to be when you leave here? Will you be like Jean? Will you harbor that self-enemy? Will you harbor that inner hatred? Will you be like Finney? Blind to what you know you saw, blind to the person clinging to you, whether that person is you to the point that it ends up killing you, whether figuratively or literally notwithstanding. I want all of you right now to think just for a moment on a quote from the book. And it's among Gene's final words, final thoughts in the novel, and he's reflecting on the meaning of his experiences at Devon and then also his experiences in war. And the quote is this: "I never killed anybody, and I never developed an intense level of hatred for the enemy, because my war ended before I ever put on a uniform. I was on active duty all my time at school. I killed my enemy there. Only Phineas was never afraid. Only Phineas never hated anyone." And I know that those words may not mean a lot to you, particularly as young as you are, as much as you may not have experienced war, but look at the times and look at current events and look at the people who experience war around them every day, and then look at yourself. Do you not experience a form of war? Are not those moments when you're looking in a mirror and you're not sure about who you see a form of war? And I know that this is very deep especially for an English class really close to the end of the year when all you want to do is get out of here and go be free and go have fun and eat ice cream and forget everything you learned this year. But if you remember anything, one thing, I hope that it's this: that you are so uniquely you, and you will grow beyond any friendship, any relationship, any class here. And it is up to you. It is up to you and only you on who and what you grow into. Now, we have 5 minutes left. I want all of you to just think on that. When the bell rings, you are free to pack up and leave. I will see you all here again tomorrow. Our week ends, and then you are free of this building. Your finals will be in 2 days. Your reports on a separate piece are due by tomorrow. Do remember this. And I hope you come prepared. And I hope you leave through that door. I hope you leave this classroom, walk through that door more prepared than you were when you came in. But for now, just let the ideas of this novel sink in with you. And if you have any questions, come up and see me.